Hey guys, I'm Boot. We're in New Jersey, and today we are going to dive deeper into the 600-pound lies that we've been fed all over television, as you've seen. And again, today I have Kyle from On the Brain Entertainment. Kyle, let everybody know where they can find you at.
You can find me everywhere you get your podcast fix. On the Brain Entertainment is everywhere thanks to Anchor.fm. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts and everywhere else. I'm also a advocate for mental health, and we talk about that on A for Able, my second podcast, which you can also find everywhere you get your podcast fix. I'm also a contributor of the Who They Want podcast, headed by DJ Steady. Are you ready? Check that out everywhere you get your podcast fix, as well as live on all socials.
All right. As well, we have Allie, my wife, as well as Gina's sister, and she is going to tell us where we can find her.
Hi everyone, you can find me on Ali S on YouTube and at TikTok, Ali_Sams.
It didn't seem like that she had much trouble getting out of the van. Like Beth didn't seem to be like helping her get out.
Right.
But I remember at the beginning of this, before the road trip started, she said, "Can you help me get in?" Now, right. I don't remember everything, but did she have an issue getting into the vehicle, or?
I think just climbing up into the van, she was worried about getting in by herself.
Yeah.
But she's never had an issue getting into a vehicle.
No.
No matter what, like she never had an issue. They did not show their marriage the way their marriage was. And this is something I've said to a producer, which I have those receipts, if you will, which was really frustrating even when I saw things. But it frustrated me the most when I watched the episode come out because it portrayed a very different vibe that was not the vibe and wasn't what it was.
Right.
A lot of the times, like with the appointments for said doctor were canceled by said doctor's office. So a lot of times it was oh, we have to go then, and then they'd be like, no, like we got to do it another time.
Okay, so right there, that last line that no one would take her as a patient, I think that is just disgusting in the country we live in the United States, where we're supposed to have some of the best healthcare. The fact that she couldn't get help anywhere else other than these jokers all the way in Texas. I think that's disgusting.
I had said earlier that, yeah, that's kind of partly true, but she was accepted into a program and was right at the moment that she was going to have the surgery, but they denied her and they told them they don't take her insurance right before she was going to have surgery. And that kind of also was traumatic for her. And anytime she tried after that, it was hard because she was just afraid that was going to happen again. She was going to go through all the testing and, pre-testing for everything and be told again, like, no, like,
your insurance isn't going to cover this.
Your insurance isn't going to cover it.
Right.
But yeah, I think people should have
access
and access anywhere within the state that you live in. It shouldn't just be denied just because what your size is. Now, I do know that certain hospitals have weight limits to their OR tables. But that's something that then work with that patient to get to said desired weight.
Right.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. I also want to mention that as of the filming of this episode, we got some news yesterday that the doctor has been fired from the show because of so many complaints from the patients and the families of the patients who have been deceased since the show. Also, there is talk that the show may be getting canceled or they may pick up with a new doctor. So we wanted to pick up on that.
Also, the firing of said doctor is also allegedly. There is no confirmation right now. But it didn't just have to do with all the lawsuits that are up against them. It had to do with the insurance company that supposedly covers this doctor while performing surgeries, dropped him off of their insurance policy. So this article alleges that 12 cast members are in limbo waiting to have surgery because they don't have insurance for it to be covered.
That's one of the worst parts too, is that they make you go through the process of getting different insurance because, you know, a lot of these people unfortunately aren't able to work, so they are on, you know, insurance through the state or something like that. And this is still money that's coming from, you know, their own accounts and things like that. So to make them get different insurance, cancel their insurance they've had for years, just to start up this temporary insurance, which never goes through. And a lot of these people have said, come out on record saying that their surgeries weren't covered, certain parts of their procedure or, you know, certain parts of their treatment were not covered, and they had to pay out of pocket.
Well, this just goes again to depict their timeline being so off, saying it's a year process when it's not.
Right.
When you move, especially when Gina did, there was not enough time for the ending of her episode to get the insurance. She was even denied insurance in Texas because she wasn't living there long enough, because she couldn't keep up with the timeline that was put in place
Right.
for her. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it more than just getting the procedure done. It's not covered by the production company, and the timeline, this dissembles their timeline even further.
Now, I haven't seen the show since this episode. We've boycotted the show, boycotted the network, boycotted everything. So at this point, I wonder if these people were given that same narrative that they weren't able to have surgery, or, you know, were not up to that point, or did what they were supposed to do to get the surgery while the show was being filmed.
I have seen a couple comments, which I don't like to look at because it makes me want to answer them and scream at them. But I have seen comments saying that people that have watched the seasons after Gina have said that a lot more patients were not getting the surgery.
Right.
And it's turned into less and less success stories.
Yeah.
And I really chalk that up again to production, because you're not given the full time they claim you're going to be filming for. Because if this was truly a year-long process, 1000% Gina would have made it to have surgery.
Right.
Yeah, and people unfortunately also have passed away. There's been 12 deaths since this whole show started to air. So and it's all a mixture of different deaths. No, I'm not just saying different cast members. It's like different, you know, some were suicides, some were overdosing, some were health issues, some were
mental issues,
anorexia, not eating and losing 300 pounds in a year and then dying at 30. But yeah, we'll just continue on.
So
hold on, how'd they pull that off?
That's what I said. She was not 600 pounds,
as we stated at the beginning of this. So what do they do? Use somebody else's results?
It's very possible they put stuff on the shelf or on.
Can we talk about that? I don't know if we should say that, because that's really revealing top secret info.
You know what? It's the truth, though. That's what we were told.
My note literally says this is the first time that they added weight to her scale.
Oh, on the scale, like a weight bag for a camera or something like that? Because she was not 600 pounds. We all knew that.
She said that they made her get on the scale 3 times. And this was the first time that she said that people put something on the scale. I don't know if a cameraman stepped on it or a producer stepped on it to add a little more weight.
Right. But we know she wasn't 600 pounds. She was under 600 pounds.
Yeah.
So we know that is BS right off the bat.
Yeah, I literally wrote that in my notes. Like, this is the first time they added weight to her on the scale.
Right.
I just didn't know if we should reveal that, because that's really, really, like...
Basically, they just told Beth, stop feeding everybody in the house, right? Now, and also one other thing I wanted to touch on was Gina ate when she was hungry. She didn't eat when she was bored. Him making a joke that she ate when she was bored, you know, and the bit about the hammer, hitting the hammer on the head or whatever. Like, he was making a joke, and she's there having major anxiety. You know what I mean? And you can see it on her face. She's laughing because she's so nervous.
Something I want to say is that I can only speak for Gina, but she did not have any bad feelings towards the doctor at all.
No.
In fact, she had said that multiple times the doctor spoke to her off camera and said, I am very sorry that you're being put through this way with this line of a story. So this, you know, I'm not particularly frustrated with the doctor in this moment. I think he was fed the storyline, and that's why he made the comment to Beth to say to stop feeding our entire family. But why in this moment, again, was it not shown or said that Beth was an enabler? He didn't even state in his assessment in the beginning that Beth was an enabler. And he just got done saying that she needs to stop working all day and coming home and feeding Gina all what she wants. Wouldn't that be the definition of an enabler? But yet it was put on to me and my mom and you, babe. Yeah. We were the enablers, but Beth still wasn't being described as the enabler after he just said for her to stop bringing Gina food that she wants. And
right, as well as all of us. Right.
So how did he know that that was even a thing unless they weren't feeding him the storyline ahead of time?
Right, exactly.
So again, like, I don't have ill will against him, but he is participating.
He's part of the problem.
He is part of the problem because he is participating in a show that exploits fat people and their family. Mm-hmm. They exploit the story, the person, the family, and he is part of the problem for allowing it to be put on national television.
Right. And I mean, as a doctor, you're putting your reputation in the hands of a network at that rate. You know what I mean? And a network that has the worst way of portraying anybody. Because
Gina, you know, really heard how he was the best of the best, and he has all these amazing credentials. Mm-hmm. So she was genuinely, yes, she was nervous, but she was excited to be under his care and to get the support that she thought she was going to get by being his patient. Right. Only to find out she was never his patient.
Right.
So.
Also, the other thing is that at that point, she was only eating like majorly once a day. Like, she was eating a little bit here and there, like snacking through the day, but then she would only eat one meal a day. So it was like, it's not like she was snacking because she was bored. It was because she was snacking because she was hungry.
And also, how is it realistically to tell a patient to lose 50 pounds in 2 months?
They said 40.
He said 50.
No, he said 50.
You said 50?
Yeah.
And that is an incredibly large amount of weight to be told to lose in 2 months when it's not a 2-month time frame, and he knew that.
Right, exactly. Again, Beth didn't feed the whole family all the time, It wasn't about that at all. Gina had her own money that she would use to order certain things, and she would order for the family on occasion, which every family does. Every family orders out at some point in time.
I don't understand why we have to explain that. Because
Right.
if you're sitting here and you're watching this and being like, oh my God, that's so disgusting. Bullshit. I call bullshit because your family does it. So why is it such a problem if our family orders out occasionally or has a family dinner?
Right.
Why is that so, oh my God, that's so dramatic. She takes care of everybody.
Right. Exactly.
Come on. Like,
And
we
so,
shouldn't have to explain this.
you know, Gina would order for everybody and vice versa too. You know, like we all would order stuff at certain times whenever we were all going to eat dinner together, and we'd order out once in maybe twice in a month. We'd all order and eat together.
First of all, it doesn't matter how many times it was done. It doesn't matter if it was done every day. Family dynamics do stuff like that.
Right, exactly.
If they're not home, they go out to dinner. What does it matter? Because we're all fat,
Right.
so we can't do that. Oh my God.
Right.
You can't do that because they're fat.
Yeah.
And let's feed the stereotype of fat people.
Right, exactly. That's the biggest part of it all, is that they just feed into the stereotype that all fat people do is sit around and eat all day long, and they eat ridiculous amounts of food. I can understand if somebody's going through that and they are doing that, but to make every single person on this show look like they do that is disgusting. Absolutely
It's just,
disgusting.
I don't understand how you, as if a rational human being is watching a TV show, how so many people believe that these people on this show, this is their life.
Right.
Is it because a TV show told you so? You don't believe anything in reality because a reality TV show that is heavily edited told you to feel this way about a person that you don't even know. Exactly. You have an opinion and you're entitled to your opinion. I do understand that. But, like, come on.
But your opinion doesn't have to be detrimental to everybody around you. Or everybody that it's seen by.
You can voice your opinion without bullying somebody and hating on somebody.
Right.
You don't have to agree with other people. You don't have to view it as a right thing or a wrong thing. But you choose how you express it. And when you express it nasty, why? There's absolutely no reason to.
Right. It takes way more effort to spread hate than it does just to not say anything.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
And as you've seen in a previous episode, that is just a very small snippet of comments that were left for my family and I.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I have to say this when I said about the 50 pounds. I do have a text message from a producer to my sister saying that she should feel like the doctor should be disappointed in her because she didn't lose the 50 pounds.
Which, didn't she lose? Didn't she lose like almost that weight?
I'm not going to even say the number yet until we get to the part.
Yeah.
But let me just say that producer, I will not reveal their name. I will not show anything that incriminates them. But who the hell are you to tell someone that losing a smaller number than 50 pounds is disappointing?
Right.
Oh, you're catering to people with an eating disorder now. Now you are being the person that is feeding an eating disorder and saying, shame on you, you're bad for not losing the 50 pounds. But you're shame on you for losing less than 50 pounds.
Yeah.
That to me, that's toxic and disgusting.
It is.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. I know someone said this before, but it seems like their entire goal is to make this seem like a total life or death situation.
Yes. So right there, she just said, me and Beth have been home for about a week. Now, this was 2 weeks later, according to production, because they put it on the screen just before that.
Mm.
So it didn't take them a week to get home. And on this day, during the recording, let's see, she was home for a week, but she was sick this day.
Which means this was right. This was the
right before
day,
the rehearsal dinner.
This was during the day before my rehearsal dinner because she was so sick for my wedding.
Right.
Mhm. Hold on.
Uh-huh.
How would she not know how to make turkey burgers?
Right.
In the
Exactly.
first place?
The
Okay,
girl
'cause
made
I
turkey
can tell-
meatballs like crazy.
I can tell you for a fact, she made me some ranch burgers one time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, those things were banging. So I don't know how they think that she could just not that all of a sudden turkey would be the cap.
Right,
You know?
exactly.
That
She used to make turkey meatballs all the
she used to
time.
make turkey meatballs.
Loved her turkey
She knew how
meatballs.
to cook some things, even though she would constantly say, "I don't know how to cook. I don't know how to cook. I don't know how to cook."
Right. Exactly. And the entire conversation was staged. You can hear me coughing in the stairwell because we were waiting for them to let us leave till after they acted out this whole charade.
But why would she be okay with saying this? Like
She was.
Like I said,
Yeah.
she wasn't, but
She
then
didn't
by
have a
then she had
choice.
signed a contract.
She was
So
bound to that contract and she couldn't. She brought it up to people, but everyone was like, no, like, oh wow, like this is better fits the story that the main executive producers were going with.
yep.
But the why, like, okay, like we've all whined and stuff when we don't want to do something. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Right. And I was there for a little bit of that back before all of this.
Right.
But that whole thing. Oh, you guys aren't eating healthy. Why should I? Blah, blah, blah. Really though?
Exactly.
It's very
Exactly.
triggering because it's almost as if I can hear the producers telling her what to say
Right.
during this moment because we were in the hallway with the door shut.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I just this is and hearing her so sick
Yeah.
is really hard.
Because you know that was the day before our wedding.
Because I know that our wedding is coming up and that's gonna be really hard.
Yeah.
Because they made it all about me with her.
Yeah.
But yet they didn't show any of my interview, my original interview. And it made us look like we weren't close.
Yeah. They made it look like her weight was keeping you two from being close. That was the worst part of that part of our wedding scenes. But
It's
that's
just
in the next episode. That's not this
really,
episode.
really hard to do this without her actually being here anymore.
I know. Well, we have one more to go through, and then we're done. All right. So, is there anything else you wanted to add to this?
Me?
Yeah.
My note was just, the whole thing, this whole part, it sucks that her life did not revolve around food.
Yeah.
No.
She went through so much trauma and abuse. We went through so much of it together. And just because we're fat, it just was assumed that food was always the answer. Or it was our weight.
Yeah.
Okay, this might be a little bit of a nitpick, but I gotta ask: why the heck was he Why was she sitting down?
I don't know.
I think it was just for the camera, really.
Yeah, why was she sitting down? They made her seem so helpless. My goodness.
Right, exactly. That's the thing. And the worst part is, she was actually excited about the diet.
Right.
She got a copy of the doctor's book. They signed it for her. She was so excited about it. She was so happy and couldn't wait to get started on the diet that you could tell this whole thing was just staged. You know? Yeah. I just think that's the final takeaway from this part is that it was very staged. She probably would have eaten turkey or chicken or something anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And they wanted her to start cooking her own food, and that was, not really a big deal. But
Right.
the show made it a big deal. They
Mm-hmm.
wanted to spice up the drama, get it going, get people sucked into this crazy story that they were creating. And unfortunately, it was at Gina's expense.
Hearing her talk about being at my wedding, like her weight was not what kept her from gonna be at our wedding. Her anxiety was what we were worried about, not her fucking weight, not what food she put in her damn mouth. It was her crippling anxiety and agoraphobia that we were wondering if she was going to be able to go, because she couldn't go to functions, not because of her weight, but because of her anxiety, or because she would be tortured and nitpicked and judged at functions.
Yeah.
Not because of her weight. Good thing we're taking a break before our wedding, because I don't think I could watch that right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
It's just it all sucks. It sucks so much.
Yeah.
And to hear her think that, we were supportive, and I wish we weren't. I wish we saw the red flags in real time.
Yeah.
I wish we listened to her doubts, because she knew, I feel like. But in our head, we felt like she was going to get the support that was promised. The mental health support, the physical support. She would have a team of doctors.
Yep.
And she had none of that.
Nope.
None of that. So I wish we weren't supportive. I wish we could have recognized it and got her out faster than usual.
Yeah.
But that's not how it went down, so.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you can't turn back time. And all you can do is move forward and make things well known. Make the truth known.
All you can do is learn.
That's what we're here for.
From the past.
Yes.
Honestly, I'm just like, this was my friend. Okay, this was my friend. I may not have known her for very long. Oh dang, wait a minute. No, she's a little bit over 2 decades almost. But when I think about it that way, shoot, we met back in 2010. Anyway, doesn't matter. Point is, the way that she treated herself before this was improving. Okay?
Yeah.
Slowly, yes, but progress is a slow process.
Yeah.
This made her regress.
Yeah.
And it saddens me that because we're on the internet where anybody can do or say anything, the only thing that she got, for the most part, was a lot of negativity. She got a lot of positivity too, but every time she got something positive, like on a say one of her YouTube videos, TikTok videos, whatever, right, where she was inspiring people to be themselves and take their and take themselves seriously and want to improve themselves minute by minute, as her slogan, her mantra, things that she would tell herself on a regular basis.
Yeah.
As she was able to finally start to move again and allow herself to be happy. Once she got on this show, it just went backwards. So I hope that whoever watches this, number one, anytime you go on any kind of show for any reason, read those contracts thoroughly.
Yeah.
Read those contracts thoroughly. And if you don't agree with something before you sign on any line, because I know, because she's not the only person I know personally that's been on a reality show. But as we've seen on these episodes, they got people in the background pulling strings. So be aware of any contract you sign, any person that you talk to that says that this is for your own best interest. Whatever they try to bait you with, be on your guard. Otherwise, something like this could happen to you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely thoroughly research before
Getting involved
you're
in this
part of
stuff.
anything, not just this particular show, but any show or anything rather that you at
Research
the
the
time.
show, the
Yeah.
network, the people involved, whose idea it was to create the show in the first place, what the reputation is. Do major research.
Oh
And
yeah.
get a lawyer.
Yes,
Have
Yeah.
a lawyer
lawyer that
help
heck
you.
up.
If you can't look through those contracts and understand, get yourself a lawyer to look through them. And she wasn't allowed a lawyer.
She wasn't allowed to have a lawyer look over the papers. She asked, "Can I get this looked over by an attorney?" And they told her absolutely not.
Huh.
Oh,
Wow.
that's
So they
a new
lied to her
development.
there too.
That should have been a
She
red
was not
flag.
allowed-
The contract she had that was here, they left it because she had by the end of the week they first filmed for her to sign and get back. But she asked if she could have a lawyer look at it, and they told her she was not allowed to seek legal advice as far as the contract goes, and that it was a standard contract. A standard,
wonder
I would
why.
assume, entertainment contract. That should be your biggest red flag right there. That should have been our
Yeah.
biggest red
Yeah.
flag. Because
As
we
many
read
stories
through
as there-
it.
I wish I knew that. I didn't even know. I
We
didn't even know
read
that.
through it. We read through it when she got it, but at the time, that was in the beginning,
Yeah.
where we were all under the assumption this was all going to go down very differently. Yeah. So okay. So it was actually the last day of filming they gave it to her because they kept forgetting to bring it, and she had by the end of that day to get it to them. And we tried to read it, all of us, to try to understand it, but again, like I said, at the time, we were all under the impression this was going to go very differently.
Yeah.
It seemed like a fine and fair contract if they were going to uphold their end of the contract, which they did not.
Right.
But now I don't know what it looks like, and I can't even tell you otherwise.
Yeah. As you guys have followed along this far, thank you guys for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Thank you for joining us for these episodes. It's very taxing on all of us to relive these memories and, have to go back and basically truth say as to what really happened. And, we thank you guys for giving us this platform and this opportunity to do so. Anyways, that's about all we got for this one. So, guys, we will see you in the next one. Stay tuned. Bye, guys.
Bye.